Shock rippled through the tennis world today, leaving fans stunned and scrambling for answers. Emma Raducanu, Britain's golden girl, the young star whose meteoric rise once seemed unstoppable, made a confession that no one saw coming. During a private, emotionally charged interview, Emma spoke with trembling honesty about a relationship that many had only whispered about, her connection with Spanish tennis prodigy Carlos Alcaraz. What she revealed next changed everything. For months, fans had speculated about Emma and Carlos. Their chemistry on and off the court had long been the subject of rumors. Cryptic posts, subtle glances during matches, joint appearances that felt too comfortable to be casual. Social media lit up with theories that the two were more than friends. Yet, neither ever confirmed nor denied it, maintaining a polished, professional distance. But today, Emma broke that silence, and her words shattered the illusion of perfection that surrounded them. "I've kept so much to myself because I thought silence would protect us both," Emma admitted, her voice unsteady but resolute. But sometimes the truth is heavier than any trophy you could ever win. The statement struck like lightning. Emma Raducanu, known for her composure and guarded nature, was now baring her soul. Behind her calm demeanor, there had been emotional turmoil. Sources close to both players confirmed that what fans perceived as a dream connection had, in reality, been fraught with pressure, misunderstandings, and emotional exhaustion. Insiders described the relationship, though never publicly defined, as intense and complicated. Both players were under immense scrutiny, constantly followed by cameras, analyzed by fans, and judged by media narratives. Even the smallest gestures were turned into headlines. Over time, that spotlight created cracks neither could ignore. But Emma's revelation went far beyond confirming tension. She exposed the deeper emotional struggles that had shaped her life off the court. "People think being around someone as gifted as Carlos is always uplifting," she said quietly. "But sometimes it's isolating. Sometimes it makes you question who you are and whether you're enough." Her words were raw, vulnerable, and painfully relatable. Here was a young woman, still in her early 20s, describing the emotional toll of living and competing alongside one of the brightest stars in men's tennis. What fans had seen as a fairy tale bond was, in truth, shadowed by insecurity, comparison, and unspoken pressure. Emma's openness sent shockwaves through both the sports and celebrity worlds. Commentators couldn't stop replaying her interview. How could someone so young articulate such emotional depth? Many saw her confession not as weakness, but as an act of extraordinary courage, a glimpse behind the curtain of what it means to live under constant public scrutiny. According to insiders, Emma and Carlos had shared an unspoken connection, mutual admiration mixed with competition, support laced with strain. But their world was spinning too fast. The demands of fame, travel, and performance left little room for emotional grounding. Misunderstandings grew. Conversations were left unfinished. And slowly, what had once been a source of motivation began to weigh heavily on both of them. Emma didn't present herself as a victim. She spoke as someone reflecting deeply on the price of caring too much. "When you truly care about someone," she confessed, "it's easy to lose yourself in the process. I've had moments where I wasn't sure if I was playing for me or for us." That line alone changed the narrative completely. It hinted that her personal emotions might have intertwined with her professional struggles. Some analysts even suggested that her recent dips in form could have been connected to this emotional weight she'd been carrying silently. What made Emma's confession even more striking was her refusal to blame Carlos. She spoke of him with respect, admiration, and genuine warmth. She called him a force of nature, someone whose energy could light up a room, whose drive was unmatched. Yet behind that admiration lay a confession of exhaustion, the difficulty of keeping up with someone whose world never stops moving. That honesty humanized her in a way few athletes ever allow. In the glamorous world of tennis, players are expected to project strength, confidence, and control. Emma's decision to speak vulnerably shattered that mold. She turned the spotlight inward, exposing the emotional reality behind the smiles and trophies. Since the interview, reports suggest that Carlos Alcaraz has decided to retreat into quiet focus, channeling his energy into upcoming tournaments. While he hasn't publicly responded to Emma's statements, insiders describe him as deeply reflective. The revelation, whether he likes it or not, has forever changed how fans see their dynamic. Now, every glance, every exchange caught on camera between the two will be seen through a different lens. What once looked like playful camaraderie now carries the weight of unspoken history, affection, confusion, and heartbreak intertwined. The most powerful part of Emma's confession wasn't scandalous. It was sincere. She didn't dramatize or sensationalize. Instead, she painted an honest portrait of what it means to be young, ambitious, and emotionally human in a world that treats you like a brand. "I'm learning," she said softly toward the end of the interview. "Learning how to separate who I am from what I'm expected to be. Learning to find myself again." Those words resonated deeply with fans across the globe. In a sport often dominated by numbers, rankings, and records, Emma reminded everyone that behind every player's composure lies a person, someone navigating love, pressure, and identity in the public eye. Commentators and former players have praised her bravery. Some even say Emma's honesty could set a new standard in the sport, encouraging athletes to talk more openly about the emotional cost of fame. It's rare for a player to acknowledge how personal relationships can influence professional performance. But Emma's story proves that no one, not even a Grand Slam champion, is immune to the pressures of the heart as the dust settles. The tennis world finds itself re-evaluating everything it thought it knew about Emma Raducanu and Carlos Alcaraz. What fans once celebrated as a picture-perfect connection is now seen as something far more human. A complex bond filled with admiration, struggle, and growth. Emma's confession doesn't diminish her. If anything, it deepens her story. It shows that beneath the glittering spotlight of fame lies a young woman still discovering who she is, not just as a tennis player, but as a person learning to balance love, ambition, and identity. Her revelation may have left the world stunned, but it also made her more relatable than ever. Because in the end, Emma Raducanu didn't just share gossip, she shared truth. A truth that reminds us all that even the brightest stars carry shadows. And in that honesty, she may have found her greatest strength yet.